Hi everyone! Over the weekend, I watched a documentary with Steven, and the film is called American Factory by Julia Reichert and Steven Bognar. And this film is actually supported by the Obama Foundation. I'm not trying to spoil it, but if you haven't watched it, maybe you should watch it first before you watch this video. The premise of the story is GM, General Motors, has continued to shut down their factories. A factory in Dayton, Ohio got shut down, and then in comes a Chinese factory called Fuyao. So they manufacture glass windows and stuff for cars. The China boss comes in and flies over his Chinese managers. The initial thought was that he would train them and then send the Chinese managers back to China. However, tensions rise because the factory is not doing as well as predicted. And so the China boss, he's really trying to fix the problem and profit off of his investment. On the other hand, you see that these American workers who were being paid $30, $40 when they were working at General Motors, now their wages are practically cut in half. It's not a living wage. And so there's a lot of tension. The United Automobile Workers Union steps in and says, hey, let's form a union at this factory at Fuyao. Tensions continue to rise because the China boss doesn't want a union at his company. And so strikes happens and layoffs happen, and at the end of the movie, there's a scene where the China boss and one of his workers walk inside the warehouse and walk through the warehouse. And then one of the workers was like, yes, we will replace that part with that area with a robot, and this will replace 2-3 workers, and then over here we will install another robot and it will replace 2-3 workers. At the end of the movie, I was pretty much depressed and sad. I was actually talking with Steven about this after the movie. We were just reflecting on what we thought about the movie, and that's when I told him, like, wow, like, I don't see a way for America to get out of this predicted path that we're going onto. On one hand, we have global competition. On the other hand, we have automation. It's a lose-lose situation for us because no matter what perspective I see Americans losing their jobs. And then he turned to me and he said, America doesn't have to be the largest economy in order for people to be happy. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, when he said that, my mind stopped functioning. Like, I did not compute. Like, what do you mean we don't have to be the number one economy? Like, that's what success is. That's what happiness is. In my mind, success meant being the number one economy in the world, meant having more jobs for American people, and having more jobs equals employment. Employment means money. Money means having food, having a home, having stuff that you can do for fun, which equals happiness. And so when he told me that, I was like, no, you're wrong. My mind does not compute. But then he refuted my comment and he was like, okay, like the only thing we really, really need is food, water, and shelter. And America has the natural resources to obtain all that. We don't really need to rely on other countries for these resources. The problem with America isn't that we're starving. We're actually dying more from diseases caused by obesity. We're dying from being too fat. And so that's why I support Andrew Yang's idea of a universal basic income, because of what I see in the future. Less jobs in America due to competition, global competition, and automation. 2, our unwillingness to compromise our morals and philosophy. And 3rd, data shows that retraining programs don't work. About half to a third of those retrained don't get the job. And so it's not effective, especially for older generations and older people. How do you expect them, people who are in their 50s, in their 60s, to go get retrained to do another job? Like, I don't expect that. If we can secure the basic necessities for the people, food, water, shelter, then I guess I'm okay with not having the biggest economy in the world. If you look at Denmark and Poland and Finland, they don't even make it onto the list of top 10 countries by GDP. What we need to do is change our criteria for success and well-being in the US. Not only basing our success and happiness on the GDP, but also on quality of life and health-adjusted life expectancy, happiness, well-being and mental health, environmental quality, affordability, childhood success rates. There are so many other criteria for success that the US should be using, like Andrew Yang said. If you haven't already, you should watch the film American Factory. It's on Netflix. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below for your thoughts on American Factory, the state of America, and politics.